That's Hard Rock and Coco and Joe.
Now listen, my children, and you shall hear a story fantastic, a story so queer. It's all about Santa and his helpers three. There's Hard Rock and Coco and Joe.
Now Hard Rock's the driver up there by his sleigh. Coco reads maps and he shows him the way. Though old Santa really has no need for Joe, but takes him 'cause he loves him so. Oh, you lady, aye, Donner and Blitzen, away, away. Oh, you lady, I know. I'm Hard Rock.
I'm Coco.
I'm Joe. And Santa is busy with his heavy pack. He trusts his drivers and never looks back. Oh, you lady, I know. I'm Hard Rock.
I'm Coco.
I'm Joe.
Now go to bed early on this Christmas Eve. I've no way of knowing just what you'll receive. But you'll hear their laughter, that much I do know. 'Twill be Hard Rock and Coco and Joe.
The three little men, only 2 feet high, singing to Santa way up in the sky, laughing and shouting as the sleigh bells ring. It's Hard Rock and Coco and Joe. Oh, you lady, I hate Donner and Blitzen, away, away. Oh, you lady, I know. He's Hard Rock.
He's Coco.
He's Joe. And Santa is busy with his heavy pack. He trusts his drivers and never looks back. Oh, you lady, I know. He's Hard Rock.
He's Coco.
He's Joe.
Old Santa will come in and set down his pack, and Hard Rock on the reindeer till Santa comes back.
If you hear a giggle as he turns to go, it's Coco and Snowball and Joe.
Oh, you lady, I hate
Donner and Blitzen, away, away.
Oh, you lady, I know.
I'm Hard Rock.
I'm Coco.
I'm Joe.
And Santa is busy with his heavy pack. He trusts his drivers and never looks back. Oh, you lady, I know.
I'm Hard Rock.
I'm Coco.
I'm Joe.
Oh, you lady, I know.
A wonderful Christmas time. The gifts have been all put under the tree. But wait, one's coming late and it can't be returned. But it's the biggest surprise. A wonderful Christmas time. And this year I went all out for you. I think this present's overdue. Too true. I am breaking up with you. For you. I'm breaking up with you. Surprise. Our relationship was so defective. It's over. It can't be fixed though. And we can't get our money back now. I can't believe that it is Christmas. I wish we had some kind of big receipt, complete with each expense that came with dating such a god-awful girl. A ring was not the perfect gift to get you, baby, so I got you something special. A ring was not the perfect gift to get you, baby. Now you can go crazy on New Year's Eve. Singles better anyway. Do what you want, go where you want, to who you want, but not me. Goodbye. It all will be okay. Goodbye. Know that you're not the type of girl my mother would approve of anyway. Just walk away. And if you need to blow off steam, cry and beg or kick and scream. But I've made up my mind, and soon you'll be never speaking to me. Free at last, I am free. Oh yeah, wonderful Christmas time. And I think you got the perfect gift. I wish I got the same gift before you go. What'd you get me? I want socks.
And here's the cinnamon bell.
let's see what's happening to Judy and Jimmy and the Cinnamon Bear. We left them at the bottom of Looking Glass Valley, where their airplane was forced down after Weary Willie the stork punched a hole in the fuel tank and gulped all the soda pop gas. If you remember, this made them very sad, especially because Weary Willie threatened to tell the Crazy Quilt Dragon that they were chasing him. And they were even sadder when Cinnamon Bear told them there was no way to get out of the valley.
I just know we'll never get the silver star back from Crazy Quilt. And if we don't have it to put on top of our Christmas tree...
Look, Cinnamon Bear, aren't there tools or something in the plane that we could use? You know, to cut steps in the sides of the valley like the alpine mountain climbers do in ice.
I thought of that, Jimmy, but this looking glass is very, very hard, and it won't crack no matter what. I guess there's only one thing for us to do, children.
What's that?
Wait until it rains.
But I don't see what that will do to help us get out of here, Cinnamon Bear.
That's just because you've never been in Maybeland before. You see, when it rains here, it rains soda pop.
I see what you mean. Then we'd be able to fill up the airplane and fly out just the way we came in.
Exactly.
But when is it going to rain?
Oh, me, oh, my. That's something I didn't think about. It might rain tomorrow, and again, it might not rain until the next 4th of September.
Well, we can't wait around for a soda pop rainstorm. I wish I knew something magic to say that would just scoot us right to the top of that cliff.
Look, Cinnamon Bear, here comes Weary Willie, that bad old stork.
So it is. And I must say he has a nerve coming back after drinking up all our soda pop gas.
As soon as he gets close enough to hear me, I'm sure going to tell him a thing or two.
Oh, don't do that, Jimmy. I have a better idea. He's an awfully conceited person, and if we flatter him a bit, maybe he'll feel ashamed of himself and help us get out of here.
Hello below!
I'd like to punch him in the beak.
Don't talk so loud, Jimmy. Remember what Cinnamon Bear said.
Yeah, we must be very, very polite.
I say, hello below!
I'm sorry we haven't any more soda pop, Weary Willie. Both for your sakes and ours. We're stuck here and we can't get out.
By Jove, I'm deucedly unhappy to hear that, old man. In fact, I'm rather saddened to think that I was instrumental in causing your downfall. But I was confoundedly thirsty, you know, and when I'm thirsty, it brings out all the primitive in me.
I don't exactly know what you mean, Mr. Stork. But whatever it is, I hope you feel better now.
Oh, I feel ripping, absolutely ripping. In fact, I feel so ripping that I should like nothing better at the moment than a good rousing game of ping-pong. Are any of you ping-pong minded?
No, we don't feel like it at all. Besides, we don't have anything to play it with.
Oh, so we don't. It's just as well, too, because I'm a bit sloppish at ping-pong anyhow. For some reason, I always ping when I should pong and vice versa.
Well, Mr. Stork, I suppose you did what you said you would and told that crazy quilt dragon that we were chasing him to get the silver star back.
By Jove, I did. I've such a beastly rotten temper at times. I was provoked because you wouldn't give me a lift. I just went stork mad for a moment, but I'm terrifically sorry, really. You've no idea how sorry.
Lots of good that does us now, Weary Willie.
I have it. I'll fly you out of Looking Glass Valley.
That'll be grand of you, won't it, children?
You bet.
Let's go.
Very well, then. How will we manage it?
Let me see now. Do you think we could all get on your back?
Oh, of course. I've a strapping physique, you know. Played rugby and all that. Oh, yes. I can carry all three of you without batting an eye.
Well, let's hurry, please.
By all means, by all means. Shan't delay a jot longer. Now, I'll kneel me down and you may all ascend.
You go first, Judy.
All right. I'm on.
And now you, Jimmy.
Okay. There, all set.
Now me.
All aboard, Patio Cinnamon?
All aboard, Willie.
Then hold on tight. The hop up to the top of the cliff will be most grueling for me. I'll have to exert every last ounce of my marvelous strength there. Are you ready, my friends?
Ready.
Then we're off. Pip, pip.
Whee! Isn't this wonderful?
Gee, we're climbing way up to the top.
We've made it. Congratulations, Willie.
Oh, don't mention it. It was nothing.
Thank goodness we got out of that valley.
Can you see the crazy quilt dragon anywhere, Judy or Jimmy?
No, I can't. I guess he got tired of looking at himself in Looking Glass Valley and went someplace else.
Oh, dear. Where do you suppose he went?
Oh, according to my recollection of Crazy Quilt's habits, he's apt to be taking a siesta at this hour.
What does he mean, Jimmy?
I don't exactly know, but I'll bet Cinnamon Bear does.
He means that about this time every day, Crazy Quilt generally takes a nap.
Righto. And if I may enlarge upon my statement, he frequently takes his siesta in the vicinity of the root beer ocean.
Could you take us there, Willie?
Oh, it would give me untold joy to do so, my friend. I feel it incumbent upon me to make amends for my caddish conduct this afternoon. How would you like to have me fly this time, fast or slow?
Oh, fast, Mr. Stork.
As fast as you can. We just got to catch up with Crazy Quilt.
Righto. Here we go. Pip, pip.
fly fast. You really fly fast, don't you, Willie?
Oh, but definitely. Some call me the Streamland Stork.
And you sure brought us to the right spot, Mr. Stork. There's Crazy Quilt right over there. And he's sound asleep.
And look, he's got the silver star right under his nose.
Aha, the villain has been brought to bay. We'll just hand him the surprise of his life.
Pardon me, my friends, but may I be of any further service?
No, thank you, Willie. It's been most kind of you to carry us here.
You were wonderful, Mr. Stork. Thanks a million.
Oh, not at all. After my unmitigated thirst caused you to make a forced landing in an inaccessible locality, it was little enough for me to make amends in the small manner in which I have.
And it
of
was
course,
very big of you.
And as a final favor, will you allow me the pleasure of sending you an autographed copy of my latest travel book? It's bound in purple alligator skin, printed on
I'd be
vellum.
thrilled to death. Just send it to Palio Cinnamon, General Delivery, Wintergreen Forest.
Oh, but I didn't finish telling you
Thanks
about...
a lot, Willie. You've been a brick.
Oh, yes, so I have. Well, I must pop along now, my dear friends, and I wish you success in your endeavor.
Goodbye.
Pip, pip.
So long, Willie.
Well, that's over. He sure talks a blue streak.
Yeah, but he turned out to be a big help after all. Now let's surprise Crazy Quilt. I see he's still snoozing away over there.
How we do it, Cinnamon Bear?
Well, he's right near the cliff overlooking the Root Beer Ocean. So the thing to do is to close in on him from 3 sides. Now, Jimmy, you take that side, Judy the other, and I'll walk straight at him.
All right. Come on.
Isn't it exciting, Jimmy?
Not too loud, you'll wake him up. When we get near enough, one of you can snatch the silver star from under his nose.
What's that?
Oh, dear, it's one of those military-minded mosquitoes, and he's making right for Crazy Quilt.
What goes on here?
Willikers. He bit Crazy Quilt right on the nose and woke him up.
And just when we were about to get our silver star.
We'll have to try something else. Hey, you, Crazy Quilt.
I'm very busy right now, Cinnamon Bear. I'll speak to you some other time.
He's trying to run away. Close in on him, children. Come on, let's go now. Hurry up. Get over this fence over there. That's it. We got him backed up right on the edge of the cliff.
Why, I don't understand. What does all this mean?
You know what it means, Crazy Quilt. We've got you this time.
Where's our silver star?
Silver Star? What Silver Star?
Don't try to quibble, Crazy Quilt. Hand it over gratefully and you can go your way.
Oh, what a terrible mistake you've made. Why, I've never seen this Silver Star you're talking about. You must have the wrong party.
You have too got it. I can see it even if you are trying to hide it. It's our silver star, and we've got to have it to put on top of the Christmas tree.
You stole it out of that trunk and you know it.
What? Oh, come. You think I would do such a wicked thing as steal? Oh,
You still insist that you didn't take it, Crazy
I
Quilt?
repeat, I have not seen it.
We'll have to scare him. Let's go.
Wow, scram, you bad dragon. Scat, skadoo.
Oh, how funny.
Garah!
Boo.
Oh, help. Oh, don't help
He's slipping over the edge of the cliff. He fell into the ocean. Right into the Root Beer Ocean. Quick, we'd better run down so we can head him off when he comes out of the water. Come on.
Hurry up, Judy. I'm coming.
We get him. He can't escape this time. There. He's just coming up on the beach.
Oh, I'm so unhappy. Oh, such unkind people to say boo to a Crazy Quilt dragon. Don't you know you should never do that?
Why shouldn't we?
Well, I'll tell you.
Don't ever say boo to a Crazy Quilt dragon in hopes he'll turn tail and run. There aren't many words that will make him go crazy, but boo is decidedly one. You can say cheese it or scat if you please, it will certainly bother him none. Now shoo or skidoo, sir, would not be taboo, sir, but booing is just never done. Don't ever say boo to a Crazy Quilt dragon, no, never, not even in fun. Remember, a Crazy Quilt's colors are fast and are guaranteed never to run.
That was very pretty, Crazy Quilt, but you did run. So I guess you aren't as guaranteed as you think.
Oh, but I didn't run. I jumped. Go ahead and laugh. Oh, I suppose I deserve it for giving way to my basest self. But if you only knew how weak I am when something beautiful and shiny attracts me. So when I found the silver star...
You mean when you stole it?
Well, if you want to put it that way. Oh, I would never have taken it if I'd known how much it meant to you. May I apologize and ask your forgiveness?
You mean you're sorry, Crazy Quilt?
Of course, little girl.
And you won't ever do it again?
Oh, never, never, never.
That's fine. Now everything will be hunky-dory if you'll just return the Silver Star to us.
Of course, only
Only what?
it dropped out of my mouth when I jumped off the cliff, and it's lost in the root beer ocean.
Well, they've got the Crazy Quilt Dragon all right, but they haven't got the Silver Star. It looks like a lot of strange adventures are in store for Judy and Jimmy and the Cinnamon Bear before they retrieve their lost treasure. So let's be sure to listen next time and see what happens.
Cinnamon Bear.
Well, Judy and Jimmy and the Cinnamon Bear overtook the Crazy Quilt Dragon last time and cornered him on a cliff overlooking the Root Beer Ocean. But no amount of persuasion could make him hand over the Silver Star, which he had stolen. So nothing remained but to scare him. And scare him they did. And what did Crazy Quilt do but leap off the cliff and land kerslosh in the ocean? They rushed down to meet him as he came dripping through the root beer waves, only to discover that he had dropped the Silver Star when he jumped. It's lost again. Everyone is muchly disturbed, and Crazy Quilt is hanging his head.
This is a pretty kettle of halibuts, if I do say so myself.
You're a fine kind of a dragon. First you steal our Silver Star, and then you go and lose it.
Oh, me. Nothing but shame do I get. Shame to the left of me. Shame to the right of me.
You're extra bad, and you know it.
Now, Jimmy, don't be so mean to Crazy Quilt. He said he was sorry.
Ah, my gracious young lady, do I detect a note of sympathy in your sweet voice? Can it be possible you feel sorry for me?
Well, I didn't exactly say I was sorry for you. After all, it was very naughty of you to steal our star.
Don't try and pull any of that weepy stuff around here, Crazy Quilt. It won't work.
Oh, lass, for 10 centuries, maybe 11, the Crazy Quilt dragons have flourished with nary a blot on their scutcheon. Oh, to think that I must be the one to bring shame to our illustrious name.
Oh, there, Crazy Quilt. Don't feel so bad about it.
I must redeem myself. There's no 3 ways about it. I must.
Done enough already, you overstuffed villain.
That's what I say. You'd better scram before I say boo.
Oh, please. You know how that horrid word affects me.
Don't be so impolite, Jimmy. Let's see what Crazy Quilt has to say for himself.
Oh, thank you, my lovely one. Now, if you could all overlook my past offenses, I'd gladly help you look for the star.
Applesauce with raisins in it. Don't let him fool you, children.
I really have a good heart, you know. It's made out of red yarn, and it's big and true as true can be. Don't you think you could see your way clear to let me join up with your expedition? Huh? How's about it?
I don't know what to say, Crazy Quilt.
Well, I do. We don't trust you, Crazy Quilt, and that's that.
Good for you, Jimmy.
Oh, the shame of it all. Oh, agony.
Listen, what's that noise, Cinnamon Bear?
I wonder. Can you see anybody, Jimmy?
No.
Look, coming around that rock. Wow.
Jiminy crickets.
It's the Inkaboos. Run for your lives, everybody. See you later. Wow.
Oh, Crazy Quilt's jumped back into the ocean.
Why, look, those Inkaboos are as flat as can be. They look like paper dolls.
Sure, paper dolls made out of blotting paper with faces drawn on them. Aren't they funny?
I don't know about that. They've got pens for spears, and they certainly are scowling all right.
Alto!
Oh, don't be silly. How can we halt when we're not moving?
Alto! I arrest you, whoever you be, in the name of His Majesty King Blotto the Third. Wow!
Arrest us? For what? We haven't done anything.
Oh, but you have, definitely. Prisoners, fall in.
We're not prisoners, and we won't fall in.
Better step along lively or get pricked by our spears.
Maybe we better do as they say. Those pens look plenty sharp.
Prisoners, forward march all.
This is an outrage. We haven't done a thing, and, well, we're not going to march. That's what.
That's just a sample. Now hurry up.
I sure wish I had my water tester with me. I'd fix those Inkaboos in a jiffy. I'd soak them up like anything.
I could fix them, too, if they didn't have those pesky spear pens. Bless my stuffings, but they're sharp.
Look, over there. It's a town.
Sure enough. And the houses are made of cardboard. You know, they're sort of wobbling in the breeze.
You know what, Jimmy? It looks just like that toy village we got for Christmas last year. See, the walls and the roofs are held together with cardboard flaps. And the windows don't have any glass at all.
And the grass we're walking on isn't really grass, it's paper.
Just like that green grass we always have on our Easter bunny nests.
Do you kind of suppose that beach we were on was made out of sandpaper?
That's very funny. I'd laugh the stuffing out of myself if I wasn't so worried about what these Inkaboos are going to do with us.
Let's ask them and find out.
That's a good idea. Hey, you, Mr. Blotter.
Oh,
what's the matter? Bear.
Prisoner, you have uttered the greatest insult that can be insulted at a mighty Inkaboo.
Why? Just because he called you a blotter?
If you value your skin, you stuffed monstrosity, never say that terrible word again.
Why, certainly, if it upsets you that much. But we'd sort of like to know what you're going to do with us.
In a few moments, you shall be ushered into the presence of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor of the Inkaboos Incorporated, King Blotto III.
Yeah, and what's King Blotto gonna do?
His Majesty will hear the accusations and pass judgment on you.
For what? We haven't hurt anybody.
I should say not.
That has nothing to do with the case, and King Blotto will punish you accordingly. Now, marcho! You are about to enter the royal audience chamber. Bow your heads and keep them there until His Majesty speaks.
I'm afraid that's impossible for me. You see, my head is fastened on so it can move sideways, but not up and down.
Oh, this will never do. Everyone must show His Majesty the utmost respect.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just turn me head clean around so it's facing backwards.
How is that?
A bit irregular, but it'll do. Guard, sound the royal founder. Prisoners, forward, marcho, and keep your head bowed.
Hope I don't stumble.
Me too.
With my head turned backwards, I haven't the slightest idea where I'm going.
Prisoners, alto. Your most unusually high highness, we bow in your mighty presence. Hail King Blotto III.
More respect, please. You're not half enthusiastic enough.
And double wow.
That's better.
You may raise your heads now, prisoners.
Look, that's King Blotto sitting on an empty ink bottle.
What a funny king. Isn't he, Cinnamon Bear?
Wait till I get my head twisted around so I can see. What a sight!
Order!
Who are these things, Captain?
We're not things, we're people.
And very good people, I might add.
When we wish you to add, we'll tell you about it. Quiet. Proceed, Captain.
Your Majesty, we've found them standing right on the boundary line of the dominion of the Inkaboos Incorporated. And what's more, they had their shoes on.
Oh! This is an offense, isn't it? By the way, what offense is it?
A violation of Ordinance Number 23 Skidoo, which prohibits foreigners from standing on an Inkaboo boundary line with shoes on.
Oh, yes, so it does.
Well, how did we know it was against the law?
Yeah, we didn't see any boundary line. Where is it?
That's what I'd like to know. Where is it?
It's a secret.
Well, you can't very well arrest us for standing on something that we don't know where it is.
Ignorance of the law is 9/10 of something. And besides, you should have taken your shoes off. Then we wouldn't have bothered you.
Then that lets me out. I don't wear any shoes, so I couldn't very well take them off.
What? Then you're doubly guilty because you didn't have any shoes to take off.
But that's not fair. That law doesn't say anything like that.
Oh, my, so it doesn't. Well, we'll fix that. Where's my royal secretary?
Here, Your Majesty.
Take an amendment. Quote, people who don't have shoes to take off when they stand on an Inkaboo boundary line are guilty of double treason and arsenic. I, King Blotto III, so will it. Unquote.
Oh, yes.
What do you intend to do with this now?
Well, I don't quite know. Something too terrible, I fancy. That is, unless you want to try and win your freedom.
Well, how can we do that?
I'll tell you. Ever since the Inkaboos were created, I have been king because of a mysterious, magical inscription I bear on my chest. See it?
Yes, I noticed it before. It's some kind of writing.
Indeed. Pretty, isn't it? And I'm the only Inkaboo that has such an inscription.
Oh, what's it say?
That, strangers, is exactly what we've never been able to find out. Wise men from all over the realm have tried for years to decipher it, but in vain. We know it's most important. So if you prisoners can tell us what it says, we'll allow you to leave unharmed.
I know what it is, Judy and Jimmy. It's writing that's been blotted on him from a piece of paper. It's just gone backward, that's all. If I had a looking glass, I could read it off like nothing.
I have a little looking glass, Cinnamon Bear, right here in my sweater pocket.
Swell. Give it to him so we can get saved.
Here it is.
Well, strangers, will you attempt to save your lives?
Your Majesty, it has been revealed to me that I may make known to you and your subjects the inscriptions on your Majesty's person. Have I your permission to perform a bit of magic?
You have.
Very well. I approach your Majesty. I hold this magic eye to your chest. Now, looking glass, shining bright, read us what's within your sight. Hocus pocus, ish kabibble. Oh, this is good. Come here and look, Judy and Jimmy.
How dare you laugh at my chest?
I can't help it. Do you want to know what your mysterious inscription says?
Certainly. Read on.
Okay, you asked for it. Here goes. 1 pound hamburger, half a pound of Limburger cheese, 5 cents worth of onions.
He must have been blotted on somebody's shopping list.
I regret to inform your majesty that your magical inscription is just the makings of a Dutch lunch.
Oh! Enough! Your insults and laughter at our royal expense shall cost you dearly.
What do you mean?
Captain, summon the royal guard. Summon the royal executioner.
Executioner?
Conduct these insulters outside the gate.
Yes, Your Majesty.
And have them thrown into the immense inkwell.
That sounds bad for our friends, doesn't it? King Blotto III really means business, I'm afraid. It's hard to wait until next time to find out what's going to happen to Judy and Jimmy and the Cinnamon Bear when the Royal Guard and the Royal Executioner take them to the immense inkwell.
Here comes Susie Snowflake, dressed in a snow-white gown. Tap, tap, tapping on your window pane to tell you she's in town. Ooh, here comes Susie Snowflake, soon you will hear her say, come on everyone and play with me, I haven't long to stay. If you want to make a snowman, I'll help you make one, 1, 2, 3. If you want to take a sleigh ride, the ride's on me. Here comes Susie Snowflake, look at her tumbling down, bringing joy to every girl and boy. Susie's come to town. Susie's coming, here comes Susie Snowflake, dressed in a snow-white gown. Tap, tap, tapping on your window pane to tell you she's in town. Ooh, here comes Susie Snowflake, soon you will hear her say, come on everyone and play with me, I haven't long to stay. If you want to make a snowman, I'll help you make one, 1, 2, 3. If you want to take a sleigh ride, the ride's on me. Here comes Susie Snowflake, look at her tumbling down, bringing joy to every girl and boy. Susie's come to town. Susie's come to town.
The happiest holiday, I think that this year I'll get what I want. Oh wait, you can't relate because your gift got returned. Oh whoops, I guess I ruined the surprise. You get one thing, the happiest holiday, cause this year I went all out for me. When I'm on big shopping spree, whoopee, I bought socks for you from you, for me. I bought myself some socks, surprise. I don't know why you never thought to buy them. Why would you? I only asked you, but I guess it never crossed your mind. The was so amazing. And now I don't have to fake like I'm glad, for bad gifts had been given to me every time you gave me a gift. I don't know just how many times I asked you for this, I deserve a little credit. Who needs another technological advance when I already easily surf the web? Socks are better anyways, I got a phone computer too, and now I got a tablet, so what? My cold feet still need some socks, so what? Know that you can just give me money after I have opened up the box, cause money walks, and we all know that bullshit talks. This ain't bullshit, these are socks. And you should be aware though, now they're bare. My feet got socks to wear, we make such a great pair. Oh yeah, the happiest holiday, and I think I got the perfect gift. You'll wish you got the same gift, but you didn't. I got you a card, you owe me.
The Holy Night by Selma Lagerlof. When I was 5 years old, I had such a great sorrow. I hardly know if I've had a greater since then. It was then that my grandmother died. Up to that time, she used to sit every day on the corner sofa in her room and tell stories. I remember grandmother told story after story from morning till night, and we children sat beside her quite still and listened. It was a glorious life. No other children had such happy times as we did. It isn't much that I recollect about my grandmother. I remember she had very beautiful snow-white hair and stooped when she walked, and that she always sat and knitted a stocking. And I even remember that when she'd finished a story, she used to lay her hand on my head and say, "All this is as true as that I see you and you see me." I also remember that she could sing songs, but this she didn't do every day. One of the songs was about a knight and a sea troll and had this refrain: "It blows cold, cold weather at sea." Then I remember a little prayer she taught me and a verse of a hymn. Of all the stories she told me, I have but a dim and imperfect recollection. Only one of them do I remember so well that I would be able to repeat it. It's a little story about Jesus' birth. Well, this is nearly all that I can recall about my grandmother, except the thing which I remember best, and that is the great loneliness when she was gone. I remember the morning when the corner sofa stood empty, and when it was impossible to understand how the days would ever come to an end. That I remember. That I shall never forget. And I recollect that we children were brought forward to kiss the hand of the dead, and that we were so afraid to do it. But then someone said to us that it would be the last time we could thank grandmother for all the pleasure she'd given us. And I remember how the stories and songs were driven from the homestead, shut up in a long black casket, and how they never came back again. I remember that something was gone from our lives. It seemed as if the door to a whole beautiful, enchanted world, where before we'd been free to go in and out, had been closed, and now there was no one who knew how to open that door. And I remember that, little by little, we children learned to play with dolls and toys, and to live like other children, and then it seemed as though we no longer missed our grandmother, or remembered her. But even today, after 40 years, as I sit here and gather together the legends about Christ, which I heard about there in the Orient, there awakes within me the little legend of Jesus' birth that my grandmother used to tell, and I feel impelled to tell it once again, and to let it also be included in my collection. It was a Christmas day, and all the folks had driven to church, except grandmother and I. I believe we were all alone in the house. We had not been permitted to go along because one of us was too old and the other was too young. And we were sad, both of us, because we had not been taken to early mass to hear the singing and to see the Christmas candles. But as we sat there in our loneliness, grandmother began to tell a story. There was a man, she said, who went out in the dark night to borrow live coals to kindle a fire. He went from hut to hut and knocked. "Dear friends, help me," he said. My wife has just given birth to a child, and I must make a fire to warm her and the little one." But it was way in the night, and all the people were asleep. No one replied. The man walked and walked. At last he saw the gleam of a fire a long way off. Then he went in that direction and saw that the fire was burning in the open. A lot of sheep were sleeping around the fire, and an old shepherd sat and watched over the flock. When the man who wanted to borrow fire came up to the sheep, he saw that 3 big dogs lay asleep at the shepherd's feet. All 3 awoke when the man approached and opened their great jaws as though they wanted to bark, but not a sound was heard. The man noticed that the hair on their backs stood up and that their sharp white teeth glistened in the firelight. They dashed towards him. He felt that one of them bit at his leg and one at his hand, and that one clung to his throat. But their jaws and teeth wouldn't obey them, and the man didn't suffer the least harm. Now the man wished to go farther, to get what he needed, but the sheep lay back to back and so close to one another that he couldn't pass them. Then the man stepped upon their backs and walked over them and up to the fire, and not one of the animals awoke or moved. Thus far Grandmother had been allowed to narrate without interruption, but at this point I couldn't help breaking in. "Why didn't they do it, Grandma?" I asked. "That you shall hear in a moment," said Grandmother, and went on with her story. When the man had almost reached the fire, the shepherd looked up. He was a surly old man who was unfriendly and harsh toward human beings. And when he saw the strange man coming, he seized the long spiked staff which he always held in his hand when he tended his flock, and threw it at him. The staff came right towards the man, but before it reached him, it turned off to one side and whizzed past him, far out in the meadow. When Grandmother had got this far, I interrupted her again. "Grandma, why wouldn't the stick hurt the man?" Grandmother did not bother about answering me, but continued her story. Now the man came up to the shepherd and said to him, "Good man, help me and lend me a little fire. My wife has just given birth to a child, and I must make a fire to warm her and the little one." The shepherd would rather have said no, but when he pondered that the dogs couldn't hurt the man, and the sheep had not run from him, and that the staff had not wished to strike him, he was a little afraid, and dared not deny the man that which he asked. "Take as much as you need," he said to the man. But then the fire was nearly burnt out. There were no logs or branches left, only a big heap of live coals, and the stranger had neither spade nor shovel wherein he could carry the red-hot coals. When the shepherd saw this, he said again, "Take as much as you need," and he was glad that the man wouldn't be able to take away any coals. But the man stooped and picked coals from the ashes with his bare hands and laid them in his mantle. And he didn't burn his hands when he touched them, nor did the coals scorch his mantle, but he carried them away as if they'd been nuts or apples. But here the storyteller was interrupted for the 3rd time. "Grandma, why wouldn't the coals burn the man?" "You shall hear," said Grandmother, and went on. And when the shepherd, who was such a cruel and hard-hearted man, saw all this, he began to wonder to himself, "What kind of a night is this, when the dogs do not bite, the sheep are not scared, the staff does not kill, or the fire scorch?" He called the stranger back and said to him, "What kind of a night is this, and how does it happen that all things show you compassion?" Then said the man, "I cannot tell you if you yourself do not see it." And he wished to go his way, and that he might soon make a fire and warm his wife and child. But the shepherd did not wish to lose sight of the man before he had found out what all this might portend. He got up and followed the man till they came to the place where he lived. Then the shepherd saw that the man didn't have so much as a hut to dwell in, but that his wife and babe were lying in a mountain grotto, where there was nothing except the cold and naked stone walls. But the shepherd thought that perhaps the poor innocent child might freeze to death there in the grotto, and although he was a hard man, he was touched, and he thought he would like to help it. And he loosened his knapsack from his shoulder, took from it a soft white sheepskin, gave it to the strange man, and said that he could let the child sleep on it. But just as soon as he showed that he too could be merciful, his eyes were opened, and he saw what he had not been able to see before, and heard what he could not have heard before. He saw that all around him stood a ring of little silver-winged angels, and each held a stringed instrument, and all sang in loud tones that tonight the Saviour was born and should redeem the world from its sins. Then he understood how all things were so happy this night that they didn't want to do anything wrong. And it was not only around the shepherd that there were angels, but he saw them everywhere. They sat inside the grotto, they sat outside on the mountain, and they flew under the heavens. They came marching in great companies, and as they passed, they paused and cast a glance at the child. There was such jubilation, and such gladness, and songs and play. And all this he saw in the dark night, whereas before he could not have made out anything. He was so happy because his eyes had been opened that he fell upon his knees and thanked God. Here Grandmother sighed and said, "What that shepherd saw we might also see, for the angels fly down from heaven every Christmas Eve, if we could only see them." Then Grandmother laid her hand on my head and said, "You must remember this, for it is as true as that I see you and you see me. It is not revealed by the light of lamps or candles, and it does not depend upon sun and moon, but that which is needful is, that which we have such eyes as can see God's glory."
She
That's all.
Oh lady, I know that's hard luck and cocoa and dough.